You ever want to learn more about the Celts? Well, they're actually an allied troop. You see, they are a bunch of different tribes, but they're all allied. They did share language, art, but other than that, they were actually pretty diverse from each other. Most of them did end up becoming farmers. There was other trades, but you could see a lot of Celtic farmers, but they were pretty Irish about it. Others were blacksmiths, carpenters, leathermen, and pottery. They did raise sheep, pigs, and even cattle. That they did also grow wheat, mostly meant for, well, beer. They did, however, wear jewelry, which was mostly encrusted with either gems or even made of gold. They did trade for goods were barley and wheat and wool, cloth skins, iron ores, copper, lead, all for the money, just so they can make a living off of it. The Celtics or actually did live in a round house, which the walls were made of bod and the roof was thatched. They would mostly wear, for men at least, were tunics and trousers. However, the women wore long dresses with cloth belts with rings either made of brass or leather. The men actually soaked their hair in lime water just so they can keep it up. Well, straight up. They don't want it to fall. Druids were the most respected, so they became mostly the scholars, they became priests and judges. They did not, however, worship temples. No, they went actually to their own sacred areas because they were so down to earth. They were doing trees, lakes, springs, and rivers. A warrior, however, was deemed a hero in battle. Dag is the first. He was the god that represents the gods and the goddesses of the Celtic culture. He had a harp that actually manipulated people's emotions and actions, except for the person who actually played it. Now, they did bring a lot of mythology in, such as the fairies, so they made us believe in more than what we could see. Plus, they brought in the leprechauns. Now, Epona is the goddess of horses, and to celebrate her living and her passing, they did a horse celebration across Ireland. They don't believe in heaven or hell, they actually believe in an other world, where you can be brought in, but only if you're accepted by a ceremony. Bridget was the god of smithcraft and death and war, so it brought a lot of poetry in the Celtic culture. Once the new religion did join in, the old religion was actually outlawed, so you couldn't practice it in public, but it still happened. Lug is the god of sun, war, and bravery, which brought a lot of the Celtic warriors to heart. Now, Danu is the goddess. She is the mother of all the gods and goddesses, so she was the first. It is said that she is believed to live on Fairy Hill. Morrigan is the goddess of death, life, and healing, which is actually pretty interesting and I think works. So, her breasts are believed to nurture the living and regenerate the dead, which makes, I guess, sense. Winter is now, she symbolizes winter because she hides the food and freezes people to death. Arwen is the ruler of the underworld. He presents tragedy and war.